Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about cultural bonuses or kingdom bonuses. It's pretty much the 6 that you can choose at the start, and they're pretty simple right now, kind of basic, and I did want to talk about how I would change them personally. I'm going to introduce some new features, and just overall, it's going to be kind of more of a listening video, just so you can listen to what I'm going to say. Also, like always, I have a script. Everything that I have pretty much stated in this video, and all the links and all that other stuff will be down below in the description. You guys can follow along as the video is going, or you can check it out after. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this video, so let's do it. So first, let's go over the current bonuses real quick, just down the line. So Sturgians, they have 20% less speed penalty from snow. Aserai, Caravans are 30% cheaper to build, 10% less trade penalty. Battanians, forests give 10% less speed penalty to parties. Empire, 20% construction speed bonus to town projects, wall repairs, and siege engines. And Khuzaits, 10% extra speed bonus for horsemen on campaign map. And then Vlandians, 20% more upgrade XP for troops from battles. Alrighty. So first thing I would change is the amount of bonuses. I think there needs to be a list for all of the different cultures. Not one or two. A good, I would say 8 plus, maybe even 10, right? This will help differentiate and make the gameplay unique for each culture that you do choose, because you pretty much have to play to their strength. You don't have to, but it would help you a lot to play towards their strength. And also there's a lot more replayability due to all the differences between each culture. First, I'm going to talk about some new features that I do want to add that will kind of make sense later down the line when I kind of incorporate them into the bonuses. But here's the features, and before I do talk about the features, these new features should have an off and on checkbox in the campaign settings, same as deaths and battles that we currently have, right? And the notification checkbox and all of that. So you can choose to have them, or you can choose not to have them, right? So first, I want a new feature called hardwood/firewood. In my past video, pretty much on how to fix Sturgians, I just wanted it to be to just be hardwood. I didn't want to add firewood as a whole new thing, because then people would have to actually, go to the smithy and incorporate that. And if you don't want to incorporate the smithy, I kind of get it. So either way, we can make a new item called firewood, or we can just keep it hardwood. But pretty much what the feature is you will need to either consume hardwood or firewood. What's it called? While you are in a snowy area, or you will freeze and your troops will desert or die because they are freezing. Same thing with food. If you run out of it, that's what's going to happen. And the consumption speed is based on your party size, same as food, but pretty much at a much lower rate, right? Another thing I would like to add is water pouches and water barrels. These will be consumed while in desert areas, and also some areas close to the desert during summertime. Same as firewood in the snow or food in general. Same concept. They're going to desert if you're out of it and all of that. Lastly, I would like to also add horse grain consumption. If you have horses in your inventory, or your troops are riding on horses, they will require grain to maintain, and if you run out of grain, horses will start to die, or they will become lame, which, they're going to have different effects put on them, like debuffs, right? This will be a very low number, like the rate will be very low, but at the same time significant enough to keep your eye on. Now, let's start. I know I said 8 or 10 for each kingdom. I don't want to make this video way too long, so I'm just going to do 4, but you can really think of so much. And pretty much how I did these was kind of thought in my head what I would like to kind of see, but also I did some research on each kingdom and what they're historically based on. I kind of read up on, each kingdom and kind of like, not each kingdom, but whatever they're historically based on, those kingdoms or those, cultures, and kind of just, in a way, incorporate it into the bonuses, right? So, like I said, I want these to be kind of significant. So some of these might sound very, very like, oh my god, I can't believe that you would say that. Like, that's super significant. Oh, that's super overpowered. But in my opinion, I feel like each culture should have something that they're very, very strong at, and they kind of can differentiate from the other culture. It shouldn't just be something so small and basic where, you pick it in the beginning and you barely notice a change. Like, I want like something, in a way kind of not dramatic, but kind of significant, if that kind of makes sense, right? And before I do say these, There's a lot of percentages and reductions and buffs. All these can be tweaked. You know what I mean? These are just ideas. These are my ideas, and we can agree to disagree. It is what it is. But I do want to hear in the comments your suggestions, what you would add. Let me know. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and all of that, right? So, let's start off Sturgians. So first, change the 20% less penalty to 10% boost in snow. This will make them very fast in snow, pretty much the fastest in the snow, even faster than Khuzaits with their 10%. What would you call it? 10% boost all over the map because they still get the snow penalty. Then I would do hardwood consumption in the snow is reduced by 50%. They spend most of their time in the snow, so I think they should have a significant advantage when it comes to consuming less hardwood or firewood, whichever one you think is better to choose. Then we have capturing and murdering enemy clan leaders, just the leaders, not the members, will give you plus reputation with your fellow clans. So the Sturgians are based kind of on the Kievan Rus and also the Vikings. So they did build their fame and their glory and just become of that legend status by having famous raids, having accumulated a lot of wealth, and also capturing and murdering a lot of leaders. So I think it does make sense. And then we also have 30% morale loss for enemy villagers, caravans, and non-party/army parties in any fight, siege, or raid. So whenever you siege a place, the militia, they will be their morale will go down. They're not going to fight as well. They also might retreat a lot faster because when your morale is down, that's what typically happens. And this pretty much makes sense historically speaking. The Vikings and the Caravans Rus, they did a lot of raiding and of villages, of monasteries, of stuff of that nature, and the villagers, caravan, they were all very afraid. So I think that does kind of make sense in a way. Now the Aserai. So the Azeri caravans, I think they should be 50% cheaper to build. I think the current, what is it, 30% is not good enough. I think if we're gonna go with a cheaper to build caravan, make it 50%, and then up it from 10% less trade penalty to 15% less trade penalty. Next we have is water consumption in deserts is reduced by 50%. Again, most of their land is in the desert, so therefore they should have an advantage when it comes to the reduction of water consumption. Then we have 15% less food consumption. What's it called? Typically, historically speaking, even now speaking, since it's kind of based on like an Arab nation, like a historic Arab nation, they do not all of them, but some of them they do fast, and therefore they do consume a little bit less food than other not other races, but kind of like other kingdoms generally would. So that's why I kind of incorporate the 15% less food consumption. Then we have natural resources like iron, oil, and other natural resources. They're all going to be increased by 20%, the production. So if you have villages that produce any of that type of stuff, it'll be increased by 20%. Just like even historically speaking or not historically speaking, those areas are very, very rich in natural resources, like even on the map, right? Then we have Battanians. So forests give no speed penalty. This one kind of strong, but I think, what was the current one? The current one is forests give 10% less speed penalty. Not good enough. I think we're going to go all the way. They give no speed penalty. They go the same way in forests as they go in regular areas. Then we have enemies need to be closer to see a party that is currently in a forest. So if you are in a forest and you are Battanians, the enemies need to be closer to actually see you. So it's kind of like stealth, but not really. It just distance-wise. Then we have settlement and village food production is increased by 20%. Battanians, they were based on, I forgot the exactly who they were based on, but I read that they were very good farmers, and a lot of the stuff that they did, they were based on the Celts, right? And they were very, most of them were farmers, and a lot of them, made their own food production and all that, so that's why I kind of, increased the food production. Then we have 10% faster healing rate. This one kind of has to do with kind of like the food and all that. I just decided to put that in there. Then we have Empire. 33% construction speed bonus to town projects, wall repairs, and siege engines. I think the current, 20%? Not good enough. I think let's make it 33%. Then we have workshop production is increased by 20%. We have 20% morale boost while in an army. And we have garrison training XP of 10% daily. So the Empire, there's a lot of different stuff that people think it's based on. But a very famous empire, let's say like the Roman Empire or empires of that, right? Or, those type of empires, their obviously their construction was very good. Therefore, their workshop production should be better. Morale boost while in armies, they had a lot of formations and a lot of just like, armies in general, very strong legions and armies and stuff like that. So they should get a morale boost while in an army. And then the garrison training XP, they cared a lot about their armies. Therefore, their training XP should be better, right? Then we have Khuzaits. So the Khuzaits will keep their 10% extra speed bonus for horsemen. It's already very good, so let's just keep it. Why not? Then we have raiding villages will give you 33% more resources. I kind of want to do 50%, but I think that's too much. So we put it at 33% because, what the Khuzaits are based on, they did a lot of raiding back in the day. A lot. Then we have 15% morale loss for enemy armies and parties if you beat them by troop numbers. And what I mean by beat them by troop numbers, if you have more troops when you start the fight than the other side, they will have a morale loss. I didn't want to make it too big because that could be kind of abused, but it's a small morale loss. Then we have horse grain consumption is reduced by 40%. Again, I didn't want to make it 50%, but the Khuzaits have a lot of horses, and that's kind of like their primary unit, so therefore I kind of wanted to give them kind of like a slight advantage when it comes to horse grain consumption. Next we have is Vlandians. The Vlandians, they were based on the Normans, and the Normans, they had a lot of castles. So the first one that I added is castle walls, gates, siege engines have 33% more HP. I would like to have a thing that says they would add more castles, but obviously it wouldn't work in the current gamescape, so I would just say beefier stuff when it has to do with castles. Next, we have is 30% morale boost when sieging. So the Normans, they were very good at crusading, therefore crusading kind of involves sieging other castles and other places. So that's where the 30% morale boost comes from. Then we have a 30% less influence needed to call or vote for policies, peace, or any other vote. Again, the Normans had a very good government system and a lot of voting, education, all that stuff. So that's kind of where that came from. And then we have no morale loss from Sturgian enemy parties and armies in terms of villagers, caravans, and etc. Why I gave this to them is because the Normans, they they kind of descended from the Vikings, right? But they kind of lost their, not lost, but they kind of transitioned from pagans to what they were. So therefore, they're not afraid of what they used to be. That's kind of how I interpret it, right? But those are pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think of it. I know it's only 4 for each, but obviously I would love to just sit down and just make it for all of them. But these are just some ideas. I know they're very drastic. Some of them are very like overpowered in a way, but I think all of these that I listed, they all have overpowered things in them, right? So it's whatever overpowered. Like in this format, every culture has its overpowered position in a different way, right? Instead of the current system where the Khuzaits are the only viable ones to really pick. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of my list. All that, like I said, it's all gonna be down below for you guys to check out. Also, I'm probably gonna put it on the screen as I'm talking about it, just to show it off. But yeah, I thought it would be a cool video to make. Let me know, and just let me know what you guys think. So without further ado, ask any questions, concerns, and like always, stay safe.